We're now going to learn about the Dirac delta function and walk step by step through solving a differential equation that has a Dirac delta function as its input or forcing function. The Dirac delta function, written as delta of t minus a, represents an instantaneous input at t is equal to a. Think of it as a hammer strike, a huge force delivered for an infinitely short instant. Here's the formal definition. Delta of t minus a is 0 everywhere except at t is equal to a, where it represents an infinitely tall spike with an area of exactly 1. Unlike the unit step function, which stays on, the delta function acts only at a single instant, and then it's gone. Here's how we notate that it represents an infinitely tall spike with an area of 1. The delta function also has this remarkable shifting property. It picks out the value of a function at exactly t is equal to a. Using the shifting property, the Laplace transform of the delta function turns out to be equal to e to the minus as. Unlike the Laplace transform of the unit step function, there is no 1 over s in the denominator. That's because the delta function acts instantaneously. We're going to use Laplace transforms to solve an ordinary differential equation where the forcing function or input is a Dirac delta function. The equation that we're going to be solving is y double prime plus y is equal to delta of t minus 1. The forcing function delta of t minus 1 acts instantaneously at t is equal to 1. Let's begin by taking the Laplace transform of every term in the equation. We have the Laplace transform of y double prime plus the Laplace transform of y is equal to the Laplace transform of delta of t minus 1. I've written the formulas for taking the Laplace transform of a derivative over here on the right, and this gives us s squared capital Y of s minus s little y of 0 minus little y prime of 0 plus the Laplace transform of y, which is capital Y of s, and then we need the Laplace transform of our delta function. I put that formula right here. It is e to the minus as. In our example, a is equal to 1, so we have e to the minus s. Let's now substitute in our initial conditions, y of 0, y prime of 0. If we look up here, we see that y of 0 is 0 and y prime of 0 is 0. That makes it nice. So we can combine our y of s's, and we have s squared plus 1 capital Y of s is equal to e to the minus s. This gives us capital Y of s is equal to e to the minus s, all divided by s squared plus 1. Our solution, little y of t, is the inverse Laplace transform of capital Y of s. So it's going to be the inverse Laplace transform of e to the minus s. And let's write this next one as 1 all divided by s squared plus 1. Writing it this way, we have our e to the minus as, and we can write this one as capital F of s. Over here on the right, I put down the formula that we're going to need. We have e to the minus as times capital F of s, and the inverse Laplace transform of that is f of t minus a times u of t minus a. We need to find f of t minus a, or in our case, a is equal to 1, so we need to find f of t minus 1. Let's first find f of t. We know that f of s is 1 over s squared plus 1. So using a Laplace transform table, we get that little f of t is equal to sine of t. So we know that f of t minus 1 is sine of t minus 1. Now we can put all of this together. I'm going to draw an arrow here. We have y of t is the inverse Laplace transform of e to the minus as times f of s. So this is equal to f of t minus a. I'm just going to write the formula first, times u of t minus a. And let's note again that our a is equal to 1. So f of t minus 1 is sine t minus 1. And then we have u of t minus 1. And there's our solution. Notice that because of our step function right here, our system is at rest until t is equal to 1. And then at that instant, the forcing function strikes and the spring begins oscillating sinusoidally and continues that oscillation forever.
If this video has been helpful to you, please consider subscribing to my channel. Keep believing in yourself and have a great rest of your day.